ॐ गणानाहं त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनश्चन्वन्नोतिभिः ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्ता वन्दे श्री गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्री शङ्कराचार्य स्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ
Lalita Bagni.
Namaste, sir.
नमस्ते।
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Ashtamodhyayaha Akshara Brahma Yogaha. Shall I continue?
Chant the shloka also.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, continue the same shloka. First shloka.
Arjuna Uvacha Kim Tad Brahma Ki Madhyatmang Kim Karma Purushottama Adhibhutang Cha Kim Proktam Adhidaivam Kimuchyate.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Kashmira Bagni.
Yes. Adiyajna katham kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayana kale cha katham neyosi niyatatmabhihi.
Good.
Krishna Pavani Bayani.
Namaste Mahodaya.
Namaste.
Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavodhyatma Muchyate Bhuta Bhavodbhavakaraha Visarga Karma Sanjitaha.
Good.
Lakshmi BV Bagni.
Adhibhutang Sharo Bhavaha Purushashyadhidaivatam Adhiyajno Hame Vatra Dehe Deva Britham Brutavara.
Dehe deha brutha vara brutham.
Okay. Dehe Deha Brutham Dehe Deha Brutavara.
Good. I think we read up to fourth shloka as yesterday, right? So in this chapter, Arjuna is taking a clue from the last shloka of the previous chapter, where Bhagavan had talked about Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karmam, some few things he told, and Arjuna had added a lot of things to that. And he is asking 7 things. First is, what is Kim Tad Brahma? What is the Brahman? What is Adhyatmam? Kim Adhyatmam? What is Karma? Kim Karma? Adhibhutam Kim? What is Adhibhutam? Adhidevam Kim. So 5 of the things are coming in the first shloka. Second shloka, sixth one, Adhiyajna Katam Katam. How is the Adhiyajna in this body? And then how do we remember at the time of our death? Prayana Kalecha Katam Nyeyosi Niyatatmabihi. So he has asked 7 questions, 6 of them about Adhibhutam, Adhiyajnam, Tad Brahmam, all those things. And then he has also put the 7th question of Prayana Kala. Because in the earliest chapter, Bhagavan entered the shloka, they entered the chapter by telling that those kinds of jnanis will be able to be with me. They will be able to unite with me at the time of their death also. They will be able to understand me and be with me even at the time of their own death. That's what he said. So now he will be remembering me. In the last shloka of the last chapter. So he is now asking me, how do we know about you at the time of death? Then Bhagavan, what he did is the first this Shloka 3 and 4, he is just giving very simple informations regarding all these things. Aksharam para Brahma paramam. So the thing that cannot be, the immutable thing is Brahma. So the Brahma is the Ishvara, Brahma, all those things which cannot be muted, which cannot be what do you call that? Which does not decay. That is called Aksharam. Aksharam is Brahman. It is there in all three periods of time. It has been there, it is there, it will be there in the future. Whereas if you look at a body came into existence at the time of our birth, the body falls at the time of our death. So it is not Aksharam. It is Ksharam. It is having a decay or destroy. It is mutable. Whereas Brahman or the Bhagavan or the Ishvara is Aksharam. The Swabhavaha Adhyatmam Uchyate. Brahma Swabhavaha Adhyatmam Uchyate. That Brahman, whatever we talk about, that Ishvara, the Swabhava is that Brahman is supposed to be self that is called as Adhyatmam. If I distinguish it between Adhyatmam and Atma, because Atma also has been wrongly or misused. Body is also called Atma. Mind is also sometimes Atma in Bhagavad Gita. Buddhi is also called as Atma. So, in order to distinguish that, he says that that particular inner self, which is consciousness, which is the universal consciousness present in the jiva in this particular body, that is Adhyatman. And then he's talked about Bhuta Bhavo Udbhavakaraha Visargaha Karma Sanjitaha. Yeah, as far as karma is concerned, though we have done a lot of understanding in the case of the karma yoga, here Bhagavan says that the karma sanjitaha visargaha bhutabhava udbhavakaraha, the creation of the beings in the world based on karma, sanjita karma is known as karma. That's what Bhagavan says in this particular case. Then adibhudam sharobhaha, anything that can be muted, anything that will not have not available in the three periods of time. Anything it is perishable is called adibhutam. So what if you look at the earlier chapter Jnana Vijnana Yoga, we heard about para prakriti and apara prakriti. All the apara prakriti will be classified under adibhutam. Okay. Then purusha cha adidaivatam. The cosmic being is the adidaivatam. So we had a principle of God. The governing principle of God itself is Purusha. That Purusha, he says, is that Adidaivatam. Adi Yajnam, he says that I am residing in each one of you as an Atma. I am also the person who is residing in every one of you as Yajna. That is what he had told. And then Dehe Deha Pradambaraha, sit with every one of you as a Yajna. So what Bhagavan says is that the highest form of whatever we know is only himself, whether it is a Bhuta or it is going to be the world of things or world of materials, anything you can look at it. He is a person who is beyond that. That is what he has told in this particular two verses, where 6 of the questions of Arjuna, Bhagavan did not take much of time to answer. Then he is now going to talk about the Antakala, that is at the time of death. At the time, instead of calling this death, we have to say at the time when the body falls. So we'll start with this sloka now.
Lakshmi
Can
BV
call
Bhagini.
someone? Yeah. Antakale cha mameva.
Antakale cha mameva. Antakale cha meva.
Mam eva mameva.
Cha mameva.
Smaran muktva kalevaram.
Smaran muktva kalevaram. Smaran muktva kalevaram.
Antakale cha mameva. Smaran muktva kalevaram.
Antakale cha mameva. Smaran muktva kalevaram. Antakale cha mameva. Smaran muktva kalevaram.
Okay. Next.
Sharakshvan Mahodaya.
आम् महोदय।
यः प्रयाति समद्भावम्
यः प्रयाति स मद्भावम् यः प्रयाति स मद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः। यस सर।
It is not yah prayati, yah prayati.
यः प्रयाति, ओके सर, यः प्रयाति सद मद्भाव यत् यत् प्रयाति स मद्भाव याति नास्त्यज।
No, I think you only stick on to what you say and repeat. Otherwise, there's a confusion. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You only say what I say and twice. Otherwise, there is some amount of confusion. Yeah.
Okay.
Yah prayati samadbhavam.
यत् प्रयाति मद्भावम् यः प्रयाति यः प्रयाति स मद्भावम् यः प्रयाति स मद्भावम्
याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः
याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः यत् प्रयाति स मद्भावम्।
Twice.
Yes, sir.
No, the second pada you tell twice. Yeah, Athena, like everybody chants that way only.
Okay, sir.
I would
Okay,
suggest
sir.
you also
Okay.
chant. Yeah, Athena asyatra samshayah.
याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः।
Now, yah prayati samadbhavam yati nasyatra samshayah.
यः प्रयाति स मद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः।
Once again.
यः प्रयाति स मद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः।
Next.
लीना मेहुल बहनी।
अंतकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्।
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्। अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्।
Good. Next.
मृणालिनी बहनी।
यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः।
यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः। यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः।
Good. Next.
वीणा पनिश्री बहनी।
First line 2 times.
नमस्ते महोदय।
Namaste.
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्। अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्।
Good. Next.
राजेश्वरी शिवशंकर बहनी।
Second line 2 times.
नमस्ते सर। यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः। यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः।
Good. Next.
शारदा राजन बहनी।
Full shloka once.
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्। यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः।
Good. Next.
शीला शिंदे बहनी।
Yeah,
Yes.
Shloka, what?
Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nastatra samshayah.
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhagini.
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन्मुक्त्वा कलेवरम् यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
नमस्ते महोदय.
Say.
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन्मुक्त्वा कलेवरम् यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः.
Next.
Vijayalakshmi Rajesh Kumar Bhagini.
नमस्ते महोदय.
Namaste.
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन्मुक्त्वा कलेवरम् यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
Gurumurthy Mahodaya.
Yes. Antakale cha mameva ranmukva kalevaram yah prayadi samadbhavam adinatyatra samshayah.
Good. One more person.
Bhanureka Bhagini.
नमस्ते महोदय.
Namaste.
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन्मुक्त्वा कलेवरम् यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः.
In this shloka, what Bhagavan says is that Antakale, at the time of your last breath, or when the body is going to fall, okay? Antakale, Mamyeva Smaran. Bhagavan says, you only think of me, or you only remember me, Smaran. Smriti, Smaran is all remembering, thinking, etc. But in this particular case, we have to say, meditate on me, because we'll see some more shlokas where we'll be coming across the word Smaran, which we have to look it as meditation. So Bhagavan says that Antakale Mamyeva, only me Smaran, you meditate on me only. At the time of meditating on Bhagavan and then leaving this body, Uktva Kalevaram. Kalevaram is called the body. Muktva means getting rid of this body. So when you are going to think of me at the last, at the time of your death, and then you are going to leave this body, in such case, yaha prayati samadbhavam, those people will be able to reach my own bhava or my own nature. Those people will be able to reach my own nature. They will be reaching na asti atra samshayah. There is nothing, there is no doubt in this. Yat atra means in this, here, or in this, here, in this, na samshayah asti. There's no doubt about this. What Bhagavan says is that at the time of death, when anybody is thinking about him and then leaving this body, Antakalecha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram is body, yav prayati samadbhavam, they will be able to reach my own nature. Yati, they will definitely reach that. Na asti atra samshayah. There is absolutely no doubt about this. That's what Bhagavan says. So there will be a lot of questions now coming up in the minds of people, whether we can do everything in this world and finally we can say Narayana, Narayana, and then we'll go to Narayana. Whether that is possible. That is, many questions will come up. I think in the subsequent shlokas, we'll try to understand some of those kinds of things. One. Second thing is what happens to somebody when he's just meeting up with an accident. Suddenly some vehicle comes and hits him and then say, oh my God, or oh idiot, that fellow, by the time you tell, the fellow is run over. So what all things happen? So when you look at that way, just because that fellow was leading a very good life, and at the time of just getting knocked off by another vehicle, he was not able to think of God, what happens to him? Such kinds of questions also will arise in our mind. Or somebody loses his consciousness of meditating at the time of death. That is also possible. Then what happens to those people? Or how people will be able to remember Narayana at the time of death? Because when you look at that way, we all feel that when we are told that today is the last day for you, then we have got a lot of unfinished tasks. We have so many things that we need to do. We will say that this has not been done, that has not been done. I should do that. I should do that. I have to go there. So you have so many things. So when the time says that Bhagavan says that, come on, if somebody comes to know that they are going to die, they are not able to think about Bhagavan because they only start thinking of so many unfinished thinking, unfinished work, thinking about their own close family and children and grandchildren and all those things, money, property, will, everything. But they may not be able to think of Bhagavan also. So what happens? So if you actually look at that way, not what I'm understanding from the various scriptures is that not many people are able to have the thought of God at the time of dying when they know that they are dying. Or many people die unconsciously. Many people die for 2 days, 3 days, they're lying in coma and they die. They die suddenly in this thing. So when you look at that way, Bhagavan says that you have to think of me and die, then you'll be able to reach me. Then what happens to that? How do we go about that? Those kinds of doubts are all coming in the minds of people, which he'll try to address in some of the slokas, which we'll be talking about now. But what he says is that the people who are able to think about Narayana at the end of his life, they will be able to reach him. He says that if they think about me as Ishvara, Lord Krishna, at the time of death, they'll be able to Madbhavam Yati, they'll be able to reach my own nature. There's no doubt about that. That is one kind of assurance Bhagavan has given in this. And another important thing is that we also have to know, if you look at that way, whether our first, call of the mind, if you look at, top of the mind recall, whether we are able to recall in any situation about God or about lot of other things, that one needs to start analyzing himself. Whether suddenly something is coming, whether God comes to your mind, or immediately you think of your money or your power or your fame or your children or your world of things, or whether you are going to get God in front, God start coming in front of you. That is what has to be understood. That I believe that people have a lot of difficulties in terms of, in many situations, they forget God conveniently. God comes to help, God comes only at some times, but not when a person is highly anxious or highly, disturbed at this kind of time of death, when they have got a pain and they are still awake. So there are certain things that we need to be cognizant about it, whether it is possible to think of Bhagavan and meditate upon him at the time of death. But Bhagavan has assured that if somebody is meditating on me at the time of his death, they will definitely they'll reach my own Baba. They will reach my own nature. That's what he has told. So we'll now go to the next sloka.
Lalita K. Begani.
Yayau vapi smaran bhavam.
ययैवापि स्मरन् भावम् ययौ वापि स्मरन् भावम्
Yajatyante kalevaram.
त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम्
Yayau vapi smaran bhavam. Yajatyante kalevaram.
ययौ वापि स्मरन् भावम् त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् ययौ वापि स्मरन् भावम् त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम्.
Good.
Kashmira Begani.
Yes.
तन्तमे वैति कौन्तेय
तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय
सदा तद्भावभावितः
सदा तद्भावभावितः सदा तद्भावभावितः
तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः
तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम्
यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम्.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Bibi Bhagini.
तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः
तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
Good. Next.
Leena Mekul Bhagini.
The first line 2 times.
यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम्.
Good. Next.
Pranalini Gopalan Bhagini.
The second line 2 times.
तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
Good. Next.
Leena Panishri Bhagini.
Full shloka once.
यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितं भावितः.
Good. Next.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरं तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
Good. Next.
Charata Rajan Bhagini.
यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
Good. Next.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
Yes. यय्यो वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bhagini.
यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
Good. One more person.
Vijayalakshmi Begini.
यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः
Sada tadbhava bhavitah.
सदा तद्भावभावितः.
So we go to the meaning of this shloka. The previous shloka, he said that the person who is meditating on me at the time of leaving his body, he reaches me only. He reaches my nature. That is, there's no doubt in that. Now he continues that when he is thinking about God at the time of Bhagavan Krishna, at the time of leaving his body, he reaches Bhagavan Krishna's bhava, nature. Supposing if somebody think of something else, yam vapi swaran bhavam. Supposing somebody think of something else, whatever they are thinking, and in that thought, chajatyante kalevaram. With that kind of a thought, they are leaving that body. Somebody is thinking of money, and leaving the body. Somebody is thinking of I want to read something more, I want to do that, I want to do this. If they have that kind of thought process, at that time they were thinking about studying something more or enriching their knowledge, then they leave the body. So depending upon whatever people are thinking at the time of death, yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram. Kalevaram, they are giving up the body. Kalevaram tyajatyante. Ante kalevaram. Tantamevaiti kaunteya. They will be able to achieve that. They will be able to reach that. Sada tadbhava bhavitaha. In this particular case, what you should understand is that whatever is going to be the top of mind recall at the time of death is going to be the one which you are highly attached to in life. If somebody is attached to money, they'll be thinking about money. Somebody is attached to property, they think of property. Somebody is, a businessman is thinking only on growing his business, he'll think about that and die. A politician will think of only, I have to become MLA, MP, Prime Minister, like that, he'll die. At that end, if he's still having that consciousness. What Bhagavan says is that whatever is the thought process that you have at the time of your death, the same thing is what you are going to get. Now the question arises, how is it possible? One of the best explanations or examples will be, say you got a kind of arrow with you, a bow and arrow with you. The bow and arrow, you can keep moving around like this. And finally, before leaving that arrow, wherever is the direction you are aiming at and leaving that arrow, that will go only into that particular place. Similarly, the mind is continuously going around and it is having some thought going to something. And at that time, the body goes like a shooting arrow or a shooting bullet, it goes to that particular place. That's what they say. They say that whatever is your thought process, at the time when the Sukshma Sarira is leaving a Sukshma Sarira, the Sthula Sarira leaving the body, whatever is the thought process, in that particular thing, it will just shoot itself. So, what is going to be a thought process at that particular time? Sada means most of the time, whatever you are thinking about is what you are going to be thinking at that time also. Provided you are able to be awake and you are able to be conscious and you know that you are dying, and then you are going to be thinking about that. So at that particular point in time, whatever is the way your thought process is, whatever is that you're thinking, the same way the Sukshma Sarira is leaving the body, it will just pick up that particular thought and then go. It says that I want to be born in America next year, next Janma, then perhaps the person will be born only in America. That's what Bhagavan is telling. He says that whatever is the final thought process, whatever has been your longing in the life, that is what is going to be the one that is the top of the mind thought process. And when the body falls at that time, it starts shooting towards that direction. So if somebody is able to think of Krishna in the earlier shloka, or Bhagavan or Ishvara or Brahman, he reaches Brahman. If somebody is Brahman, achieving Brahman is something that everybody is aspiring for. But if you look at rest of the people, if they are going to be looking at something again in this worldly life, they will again be born into that worldly life with specifically that kind of a thought, whatever vasana they had at the time of living this birth. So it all depends upon what is the way you are preparing your mind. What is all your expectations in your mind? Whether you are a karma yogi with an attitude of karma and you have been doing it for chitta chutti and then trying to grow spiritually in terms of how do I come out of the samsara, or you are a karmi and then you are continuously trying to see, even at the age of 75, I want to go for work, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, I want to invest here, I want to get this much amount of bank balance. It is that is also nothing wrong in that. Everything is correct. So it all depends upon what is that you have been pushing your life all through. And at that time of falling of the body, whatever is going to be the desire that you are going to have intensely in your mind, that desire will be the one that is towards that everything will shoot. If the shooting will be going and getting into the particular target, which is going to be the target which you are aspiring in your mind. If you are going to aspire for Ishvara, you achieve Ishvara. If you are going to aspire for becoming a chief minister of some place, maybe you will be born with a desire to be the politician and then you'll be born in that kind of a thing. So whatever is going to be your thought process, you will be driven by that. But we all have to understand the birth and death will continue till sometime we realize ourselves. Realization is the only way. Samsara Sagara has to be overcome. That is the reason Bhagavan in the first 6 chapters he was talking about the Tvam principle, where he talked extensively about Karma Yoga, why Karma Yoga is required, then why Jnana Yoga is required. Then now he is talking about how to understand the Tat principle, that your nature itself is only Brahman. You have to understand that. That is what now he is trying to tell in the chapter 7 and he is continuing. So it is only we have to decide whether we are going to be striving for the Brahman, the reality because which everything is existing, or we are going to be looking after the world of materials and other things, which is going to make us go in circles again and again and again. We'll be going in circles, and we'll have, if you go into that, Yoga, Sukha, Dukkam will be there, Jaya, Jaya will be there, birth will be there, the fear of death will be there, anxiety will be there, diseases will be there, old age will be there, all those things will be there. So Bhagavan is telling that it is up to you. You have to decide. Is because you have got a free will, you have the free will to decide what is that you want. So Bhagavan says that for the earlier sloka, he said you can reach me, or whatever is going to be your thought process continuously, sada, tadbhava bhavitaha, you'll be only getting that kind of a thing. Okay. Now let's go to the next sloka.
Gurumurti Mahodaya.
Yes.
Tasma sarveshu kaleshu.
Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu.
Manusmara yudhyacha.
Manusmara yudyase. Manusmara yudhyacha.
Tasma sarveshu kaleshu. Manusmara yudhyacha.
Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. Manusmara yudhyacha. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. Manusmara yudhyacha.
Good. Next.
Bhanureka Bedi.
Mayyarpita mano buddhihi.
Mayyarpitamano buddhihi. Mayyarpitamano buddhihi.
Mame vaisyasya samshayam.
Mame vaishyasya samshayam. Mame vaishyasya samshayam.
Mayyarpita mano buddhihi. Mame vaisyasya samshayam.
Mayyarpitamano buddhihi. Mame vaishyasya samshayam. Mayyarpitamano buddhihi. Mame vaishyasya samshayam.
Good. Next.
Narachavan Mahodaya.
Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu manusmara yudhyacha.
तस्मात् तस्मात् वैश् तस्मात् वैश् तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च
Good. Next.
Lalita Begni.
मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्
मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम् मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
Good. Next.
Kashmira Begni.
First line 2 times.
Yes. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Begni.
Second line 2 times.
मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम् मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Devi Begni.
Full shloka once.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे यस्य संशयम्.
Next.
Leena Begni.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
Good. Next.
Rinalini Gopalan Begni.
आम् तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
Good. Next.
Veena Panishri Begni.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
Good. Next.
Rajeshwari Shivshankaran Begni.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
Good. Next.
Sarata Rajan Begni.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
Good. One more person.
Sheila Shinde Begni.
Yes. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम्.
Good. So if you look at this shloka, the earlier shloka, first shloka, he told that you always think about me and then you'll be able to reach me when you at prayana kale at anta kale smaran muktva kalevaram, when you leave the body thinking about me, mame vaishyasi, you'll be able to reach me. That's what he told in shloka number 8.5. Then in 8.6 he said that whatever is your thought process at the time of leaving this body, you will again get into the same thing only. If you think of an elephant at the time of dying, you will become an elephant. Like that, you have to understand. What is the kind of high level thought that comes to you, which is going to be the thought that has been prevalent to you in your entire lifetime. Because if somebody was against money or power, only those kinds of things will be a thought at the time of death also, because they're so attached to that. So he says that you'll only be getting into the same thing and again start your journey in the next birth. So what he is now telling is that Arjuna, there are two things. You can either think about me and then you can, you can also get my own nature, or think of something and get into that particular thing and continue your life. So, tasma sarveshu kaleshu, hence Arjuna, sarveshu kaleshu, at all times. He is to telling kaleshu in plural. The reason is that kaleshu means whether it's going to be day or night, whether it's morning or evening, or autumn or spring, or whether you are in this place or some other place, yeah, whatever it may be, at all times, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha, you please think of me. You please meditate on me. So Arjuna, try to understand that your Antakala you do not know. Nobody knows when their Antakalam is going to be. It can be the next moment we are going to be dying. So if my next moment is I won't die in the next 3 minutes, what is that I should be doing now? I should be only thinking about Ishvara, 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 Rama, Rama, Rama. Okay. So we do not know when is going to be the last minute. It is not going to be told to us that on so date at so time you are going to die. Then you can plan to sit down and then think about God at that time, few minutes before that. But we do not know when it is going to happen, when this kind of situation is going to arise to us. So it can be the next moment, it can be next 5 minutes, it can be next 10 minutes, anytime it can happen. Which means that if at all you want to have that kind of a this thing, you get into the nature of the God, then sarveshu kaleshu vam anusmaram. You have to always be thinking about God. So this becomes extremely difficult. Array, what is this? Bhagavan is telling that 24 by 7 I have to think of him. That's what we say. But what is Bhagavan telling that? Mam anusmara, he told Arjuna, always you have to be meditating upon me, and then yudhyacha. Now he says you also fight. He says that now in this battlefield, your responsibility is to fight. So you have to fight. When you are fighting, why do you fight? He has told about the reason for fighting in the Karma Yoga itself. He said, what you are supposed to do is primarily depending on the situation you are in. In that situation, when you are there, if you have to do certain things, please better well do that. That is what is Karma Yoga. Do not think of outcome. If I do this, this is the outcome. Whether what is the benefit for me, what is that I will get, what is that I will not get, attachments, etc. Don't bring it. The given situation, whatever warrants from you that you should do in dharmic way, you should do it. And then leave the rest to me. That's what it is. Karmanye vadikaraste, ma padeshu kadachana, ma karma palabheturbuhu, ma te sambhutva karmani. He said, do not attach yourself to the karma pala, do karma. You are supposed to do it at that point in time based on your status, based on your responsibility, then deliver that. But do not look at the result and do it. Do it, that's it. Because Bhagavan says that I am the Ishvara Data, I am the Paladata. Ishvara is the Paladata. So when you do a karma, he says that you leave it to me. The Sankalpa is Bhagavan, I am doing it based on your order. It is to be done for, it is to be done, and this I am doing it because it is Ishvara's order. And then you do the karma. Similarly, here also he says that whatever you do it with the thinking that I am doing this war because this is Ishvara Ajnaya to do this war. So I am doing it because I have been told that I should be doing it by Bhagavan. So I am doing this. So if you are going to make your life thinking that anything that you do, morning to night, whatever you do is a Ishvara Ajna. This is what I am supposed to do in my responsibility, my position, my age, etc., etc. This is the right thing I should do in this situation. And whatever you do without expecting any results out of the outcome for your own selfish nature, it becomes karma yoga. And then you do that with the intention that it is Ishvara Arpanam, I am doing it, I am doing this. So, my Arpita Mano Buddhi. You do that in the, if you are now Arjuna, you have got to fight in the war. Please do the fight in the war because that is what you should do. But Manusmara, you have to think that it is for Ajnaya that you are doing, and you are doing it's like something like a kind of servant maid. A servant maid is told that you are supposed to do all these things. She does not bother with the consequence. She just does everything and goes. Similarly, we have to understand that we are servants at that point in time for the Bhagavan and do what is ordained to us. That's it. And beyond that, it is Bhagavan's responsibility because we are given the responsibility. My Arpita Mano Buddhyaya, given surrendered everything to him. If you have this attitude in doing things right from day, morning to evening and night, whatever you do, you feel that I am offering it. It is the Ishvara Ajnaya, I am doing it. It is not for my selfish requirements. So I am doing it. If the situation warrants that I do it, so I am doing it. So that's a karma yoga attitude that you have. And then you start, the sankalpa is not for your own success. Sankalpa is Ishvara sankalpa, you do it. And then when you do that, then what Bhagavan says is that that itself is a meditation that you are doing always about me, because you are engaged in the world of activities, but still you are meditating upon me. In such a situation, Mame Vaishya, Mam Eva Asia, you will be able to reach me. Asamshayam, there's no doubt about it. So Bhagavan says that you need to have this attitude of Karma Yoga. You need to have the attitude of Ishvara. You need to understand that Karma Bala Data is Ishvara. When you have these kinds of thought process, then you will be able to reach me. That's what Bhagavan says in this shloka. Okay, next.
Anupama Bhagini. Mahodaya.
Abhyasa yoga yuktena
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
चेतसा नान्यगामिनाम्
चेतसा नान्यगामिनां चेतसा नान्यगामिनां
अभ्यास योग युक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिनाम्
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिनाम् अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
Yes, Mahodaya.
Paramam purusham divyam
Paramam purusham divyam. Paramam purusham divyam.
yati parthanuchintayan
Yati parthanuchintayan. Yati parthanuchintayan.
Paramam purusham divyam yati parthanuchintayan
Paramam purusham divyam. Yati parthanuchintayan. Paramam purusham divyam. Yati parthanuchintayan.
Good. Next.
Vijayalakshmi Bhagini.
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना.
Good. Next.
Gurumurthy Mahodaya.
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन् परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्.
Good. Next.
Vanarika Bhagini.
First line 2 times.
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना.
Good. Next.
Sarat Chavan Mahodaya.
Second line 2 times.
Yes, sir. Paramam purusham divyam yati prathanuchintayan. Paramam purusham divyam yati prathanuchintayan.
Prartha means prayer, prarthana. It's Partha, it just addressing Arjuna. You have to be careful about it. He's addressing Arjuna as Partha. You said Prartha. Okay.
Oh,
Partha.
oh. Parthanuchintayan.
Yeah,
Param
Partha.
Purusham Divyam Yati Parthanuchintayan.
He's addressing Arjuna, Partha. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lalita Begani.
The full shloka once.
Yes. Abhyasayogayuktena चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्.
Good. Next.
Kashmira Begani.
Full shloka.
Yes, sir. अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Begani.
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Devi Begani.
Abhyasayogayuktena Chetasa Nanyagaminā Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Parthanuchintayan.
Good. Next.
Leena Begani.
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्.
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Begani.
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्.
Good. So we'll go to the meaning of this shloka. So he is now telling Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena. If you look at that way, in the 6th chapter, when Arjuna had a problem, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, he said that my mind is absolutely wavering. I am not able to control my mind. And Bhagavan said two things. One is Abhyasa, the other one is Vairagya. He said these two things are required in terms of controlling your mind. Vairagya is objectivity. Whenever you are getting into world of things, you need to be very, very clear about the objectivity of that. One of the examples I was talking about was that when you go to Star Bazaar to buy 1 kg of sugar and spend only 40 rupees, you end up buying 3,000 rupees worth of items coming back, which means that you have lost your objectivity. You just go there and then you don't know. You are just totally taken away by a lot of things. Similarly, in life also, what happens is that so you have to have Vairagya. I will not do anything beyond this. That is the kind of determination one should have. So he says that toward the world of objects, you have got to be engaging with the world of objects, but have a Vairagya in terms of objectivity. What I will do, what I will not do. That is Vairagya. The other one is Abhyasa. Abhyasa means that the mind should be kept under control. You are supposed to have a control in terms of what your mind should think next 10 minutes. How do we do that? Some of the people are coming meditation classes. We have to go to the meditative thing and then start thinking Rama, 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 or Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. When you do that, then you are ensuring that the mind does not have opportunity to think of anything other than Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, or Rama, Rama, or Namah Shivaya for the next 10-15 minutes. Which means that the mind is not able to go anywhere except in continuously repetitive thing. That's called Abhyasa. So Bhagavan, what he is telling is now, he says that you cannot think of me at the last minute and say Narayana and reach me, but you have to be continuously practicing it over time, over so many years, over so many Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa, so that Chetasa na Anyagamina, so that your mind does not drift away. That kind of bringing that kind of a capability for your mind, you require Abhyasa. You have to do that kind of a meditative practice not thinking of God and meditating at the time of death, but you need to have it as a practice so that you are able to continuously connect with your God. Like in Arjuna also, he said that even though you may be Yudhyacha, you will be engaged in the war, but think that Mayarpita Mano Buddhi, and you also think that you are doing it as ordained by Bhagavan, and you are doing it for sake of Bhagavan without losing sight of Bhagavan. That is what is called the kind of a yukta. Hai. You are continuously getting yourself engaged with the God. Then what happens? Na anya gamina, when your mind is not drifting away because of the kind of practice that you had done so many years in your life. Abhyasa yoga yuktena, paramam purusham divyam yati. You will be able to reach the divine supreme person, which is Bhagavan or Brahman, Partha. That's what he says to Arjuna. Anuchintayan means again reflect on this. Reflect on what? Abhyasa yoga yuktena anuchintayam. Chetasa na anyagamina. So you have to continuously reflect upon that kind of a meditative practice and then ensure that you are able to have absolute control of the mind, that the mind does not drift away, and even at that particular time you'll be able to think of Bhagavan. When that kind of a thing only happens, it is possible for you to reach the Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati. That's what Bhagavan says. I want to talk something more on this, which I'll take it up tomorrow. Okay. So we'll close at this one. Oh, अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम् यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्यत्र संशयः यय्यौ वापि स्मरन् भावम् त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मर युध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैश्यस्य संशयम् अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन् ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम. You can close the YouTube recording. Close.